We just put it in there. 6:3.
Okay.
I agree with the whole thing, except I don't believe the county should be register leasing pillows. Everything else is fine. Options. Oh, no. No, we're not. No, leasing. No. Do you mind if I say that? Yeah, no. The only time. No, we're not. If they were renting for less than 50 years, and they're renting it soon to us, we could do this.
All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. I'm going to call to order the May 7th Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting with the presence of all three commissioners. I'd like Dr. Darby to lead us in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I want to start off today's meeting by honoring some of the most essential public servants in Montgomery County. First, this week is Teachers Week, Teacher Appreciation Week. On Tuesday, I visited Paul Fly Elementary School here in Norristown to show my appreciation for the faculty there, and that's where my two kids go to school. We really appreciate the work that all teachers are doing across Montgomery County to foster a bright future for the next generation of leaders. I'm the daughter of I'm not the daughter of a granddaughter. I'm the daughter and a granddaughter of women who dedicated their careers to the public school system, 70 years between the two of them. In fact, my grandmother was PA State Teacher of the Year in 1972. They were powerful role models in my life, and thanks to them, I will always have a special fondness for educators. So again, thank you to all of our teachers. Yesterday also marked the beginning of National Nurses Week. I was able to visit Mainline Health yesterday and greet some nurses very early in the morning at Lankenau Hospital. I'm grateful to the Chief Clinical Officer, Barbara Wadsworth, as well as the System Chief Nursing Officer, Betty Craig. I was able to present them with a proclamation. So I just want to express my gratitude to all of the nurses across Montgomery County. In particular, I want to recognize our nurses serving the county through our Health and Human Services Department. So are they here? They're all in the front row. So I just want you to please stand up to be acknowledged, and we are grateful for all that you do. So we're going to invite you up for a picture, and thanks for being here.
I know, I thought that stuff.
All right. Oh, yeah, just hold it in the middle and smile.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right, one right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks for all that you do. You get to keep it. All right. Last Saturday, we were thrilled to welcome more than 100 students to Montgomery County's first ever Youth Summit. In light of some of the things that are happening in our community, we wanted to find a way to engage student voices from across the county. And not just those voices, we wanted to make sure that we created an environment where we could talk about the importance of being civically engaged. So this was a great program where students got to directly ask us questions about county operations and county leadership. And we got to hear about opportunities and concerns that they are seeing and things that they care about. Familiarizing our young residents with local government and public services is something that I'm passionate about, and I know my fellow commissioners are as well. And so I want to thank our external affairs team for helping to organize the event. Erin, Thomas, Jordan, Jojo, Mira, we are grateful that you take a lot of these ideas that we have and you actually make them a reality. So great event last week. Two more things for me. Recently the U.S. Supreme Court made a decision in the Louisiana versus Kalis decision. This decision further weakens a key pillar of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, making it easier for states, including cases like those in Louisiana, to draw maps that dilute voting power under the cover of partisanship. It's impossible not to think about the sacrifices that brought us here. Leaders like John Lewis, who marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, risked everything so that future generations could have a voice. Those victories were hard fought. Progress over time has required continued attention and engagement. Moments like this highlight the importance of staying informed and involved in our democratic process. And while setbacks like this are real, history has shown they can be overcome if we stay engaged, organize, and show up in every election. Lastly, I want to recognize our Office of Innovation, Strategy, and Performance. Last week, Montgomery County received the High Performance Government Award at OpenGov's annual conference in Chicago. The award recognized Montgomery County's ability to identify $14 million in annual cost savings and cut a $50 million budget deficit in half. As a result, the county delivered its first bipartisan budget in nearly a decade. The OISP team, led by Eli Gilman, was critical in that effort to analyze and understand how we can best be stewards of taxpayer dollars. We're continuing to look for more ways to find savings. For example, the county recently moved the majority of our virtual meetings to Teams instead of Zoom in order to save on Zoom licensing costs, and Teams is already a part of our Microsoft Office suite. So don't worry, it's not going to affect our board meetings. We're going to still have Zoom for our board meetings. And I just want to, Eli's here, why don't you stand up and that's led by Stephanie. Thank you for your stewardship and your work as well. So congratulations. Thanks for helping us take our fiduciary responsibility seriously. So congratulations to you and the team. Turn it over to Commissioner Lakeisha.
I think we need to modify, Megan, the logo and make sure it has a tagline, Montgomery County High Performance Government. All of our t-shirts. Yeah, Eli's already got one, I know. But good morning, everyone. And I'll start with a couple of things. This is our final board meeting before the primary election on Tuesday, May 19th. And there are 622,000 registered voters now in Montgomery County eligible to vote. To date, we've sent out 77,000 of those registered voters mail-in ballots, and 37,000 have come back to us. I want to encourage everyone to use a drop box. It's the best way to return your ballot. It's directly to the county. We ensure that there's nothing that gets lost in the mail. So check out online our 18 secure drop boxes and their locations. They're available now today through Election Day at 8 p.m. And they've been open. We also have satellite offices that will have open hours this Saturday and Sunday. You can find those hours at moncovotes.com. And our voter van continues to make its way across the county and will continue to do so through May 15th, a few days before the election. For those who are voting in person, remember to check your polling location, make a plan to vote. Make sure whether you're going in the morning before work or after, or you find some time in the middle of the day, it's best to make a plan. It's also going to be the first election where we have electronic poll books. We've piloted these in a number of precincts. I've heard great feedback across the board. It's going to make the in-person voting more seamless in terms of having the poll worker find your name in the poll book. It's instantaneous. You just type your name in, it comes up. And if you're in the wrong polling place, they can immediately print out a piece of paper that tells you where to go and gives you the right address. We'll also be hosting a telephone town hall on Monday, May 11th at 6 p.m. So feel free to join that. Mark your calendar. State Senator Art Haywood will also provide some important election information and what's happening in Harrisburg on this topic. So any more information on those, just go to montgomery.com, and look forward to seeing you all at the polls. So earlier this week, I was invited to deliver a keynote at the Government Innovation Pennsylvania conference in Harrisburg. It brought together Pennsylvania leaders to share strategies on how we can modernize government through AI and data-driven work, much like OISD is doing. The whole team was there. Thank you for joining. It was really great to hear from different people in agencies in Harrisburg as well as other local governments. And I shared some ideas and work that we've been doing in Montgomery County to use AI to improve our operations, including triaging 911 calls, forecasting emergency response, developing chatbots that will help residents more easily navigate our court system, and also addressing gun violence, making it easier for us to engage in rapid rehousing work and streamlining permitting processes. There's a tremendous amount of work that's being done at the county. We have our AI council that is working to develop the right governance framework for all of this, because we want to make sure that we deploy new technology, but we also do so thinking about putting people first and how we ensure that we're serving the public interest. In similar news, say many people may have seen, Vertex, a local tax software company in King of Prussia, announced it was laying off almost 10% of its workforce, about 170 people due to a shift in AI. And this is very much the tip of the spear, as many people project, and that we'll see significant changes in terms of job displacement, and we've already seen that in other places in the county as well. One of the things that is important for us to think about as leaders, I'm glad we have so many nurses here, your profession thankfully is not likely to be displaced by AI robots anytime soon, and we want to encourage more people to go into fields like nursing and a number of things that actually our community college has fantastic programs for. So we've got to continue to work as a county to think about how to get ahead of the changes we're seeing and make sure that nobody gets left behind. I'll also comment on the Supreme Court ruling. It's hard to really share in words how devastating this ruling is for the last 60 years of civil rights and the protections that, as Commissioner Winder mentioned, were fought for through a movement that experienced violence and opposition, that it took, it took leaders across the country to stand up and, address and find change, and all of that has been reversed in one decision by 6 people on the Supreme Court. And I say that because Congress has reauthorized the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights, the Voting Rights Act, particularly this measure, again and again. So the will of the people has been such that these laws were needed, and yet it has been overturned. In her dissent, Justice Elena Kagan wrote that the Voting Rights Act is, or now more accurately was, one of the most consequential, efficacious, and amply justified exercises of federal legislative power in our nation's history. It was born of the literal blood of Union soldiers and civil rights marchers, and ushered in awe-inspiring change, bringing the nation closer to fulfilling the ideals of democracy and racial equality. It has been repeatedly, overwhelmingly reauthorized by the people's representatives in Congress, only they no longer have a right to say it is needed. Only they have the right to say it is no longer needed, not the members of the court. It's really disheartening to see that in Tennessee they're already making moves to get rid of the only majority black district and change their representation in one state. There's 8 states where that's already potentially in motion, and people often forget where we were before the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, but many of you know I taught election law for many years, and it's extraordinary once you read the history of how, of course, black voters were once prohibited from voting at all, and then they were prohibited from voting in party primaries, and then political parties held conventions that prohibited black voters from participating in order to select a white candidate. And through each of those moments, those are the white primary cases, the courts came down and ultimately expanded the franchise and ensured that people could vote. And it took the Voting Rights Act to stop the repeated behavior and attempt to disenfranchise voters, and it took a court that was willing to defend that, and we've gone backwards decades. The only solution to this is for people to mobilize, and yet the actions that are being taken in terms of gerrymandering are designed exactly to diminish the effect and the power of that. So we're in a very difficult place, but we should not be under any illusions about what's happening and how devastating it is, because people need to recognize their own history if we're going to make sure we're still going forward. But there's an election coming up, and I am glad that here in Montgomery County we're on track for a historic turnout. We've seen approximately 37,000 ballots returned, and we're on track for about 70,000, and that's at a time in which more people are voting at the polls again versus 2022. So that is heartening. Here in Pennsylvania, there's going to be a lot of work to do around the country. On a similar note, I want to recognize that May is API Heritage Month, and about 10% of our county's population identifies as Asian American. It's the fastest growing demographic, not just in Montgomery County, but also in the United States. And as part of that, we're going to be hosting a film called Seat at the Table, which is about Asian American enfranchisement and seeking representation in public office. And that's going to be on Wednesday, May 20th at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute. And a number of our South Asian electeds were featured in the film. I got a couple cameos. They're going to be on a panel speaking afterwards about the topic. So please join us, and look forward to seeing you. With that, I'll turn it over to my colleagues for shared development.
Okay. So what do I do first? Okay, here we go. We got the, later this afternoon, I'll be participating in the Fire Chiefs Association Recruitment Press Conference. I'll be joining the Montgomery County Fire Chiefs Association for a press conference at the Fire Academy. That they're going to be announcing an initiative to recruit 250 new volunteer firefighters, thanks through a new recruitment grant from FEMA. We've talked a lot about the challenges with first responders and recruitment in recent years, and we've seen recruitment dropping in some municipalities throughout Montgomery County, and it's actually not just Montgomery County, it's throughout Pennsylvania. So the goal is to boost up the recruitment efforts to try to bring in more volunteer firefighters. It's a great effort because you've heard us as county commissioners over the last year, for example, talk about that large fire at SPS Technology in Abington, and where we had fire departments coming from 3 to 4 different counties. There was 85 plus apparatuses that were on site throughout that 3 or 4 day fighting that fire. And majority of the people that showed up, probably 95% of the people that showed up to fight that fire, were all volunteers. So they're critical. They're a core aspect of Montgomery County, and that's why, as commissioners 2 years ago, I believe it was, one of our first acts, we created a rebate program for our volunteer first responders. So if you know anyone that's a volunteer firefighter, please always thank them for their efforts, because as we've said before, when there's a fire, we run away and they run into and fight that fire. They're brave. They're all brave individuals, and we want to continue to support them, acknowledge them, and help with this recruiting efforts. Also, this month is Jewish American Heritage Month, so I wanted to recognize all our Jewish American throughout Montgomery County. Jewish Americans have contributed so much to our county. Jewish refugees helped us with the Second World War. They've been major contributors to medicine, law, pop culture, and if you allow me another historical fun fact, voters elected the first Jewish American in Congress in 1791. He was from Montgomery. He was a Montgomery County native named Isaiah Jacobs. Not Isaiah. Israel. I think I say Jacobs, and he grew up along Perkiomen Creek. Also, we have Mental Health Awareness Month. This is something that we talk about regularly here in Montgomery County. We see a growing mental illness and health throughout Montgomery County and beyond. So it's a good reminder to always give people grace. You never know when somebody's going through something in their lives. So if you know a friend or a loved one who is struggling, check in on them and let them know that there are people here, including our wonderful nurses, are here to help when needed. So we will continue to do everything we can in Montgomery County to assist with the mental health issues throughout the county. And lastly, I know we talked about this last month, that we, for the first time, I believe in Montgomery County, we're recognizing Motorcycle Awareness Month as in May as well. This is, I talked about this at the last meeting. I'm really glad that we're doing this because it's springtime and we see an uptick in motorcycle accidents where people end up colliding with motorcycles out there. Main reason being is because, typically you don't see a lot of motorcycles on the road during the winter months. Come into spring, April, May, you start to see more, people out there riding their motorcycles. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't register in people's minds when they come to a stop sign or intersection. They look to see if there's oncoming traffic, but they see a motorcycle coming, and for whatever reason, they don't do it on purpose, but it doesn't register that there's somebody coming on a motorcycle, and they just pull out. So we want to encourage everyone to be extremely cautious and safe out there, and share the road with not only our motorcycles, but we also have bicycles out there as well. So sharing the roads with them. So let's just be cautious when we're out there, especially as we're going through the spring and summer months. And I guess finally, I'll have to comment as well on the recent ruling that we seem to be spending a lot of time on this morning. First off, Montgomery County has no authority or play in any of this. But what the ruling what hasn't mentioned was that the main ruling, or the main portion of the ruling, was that goes back to the Constitution. It talked about that you cannot draw congressional districts based on any specific race. And so what it really does is it gives the power back to the states to do the redistricting, and it doesn't take away the clause of saying that if you undo a district on race solely, you could still challenge that, but it really raises the bar as far as setting up these congressional districts. Unfortunately, across the country, for years we've seen this where, and I'll say this, both parties have been accused of gerrymandering. It goes on continuously. I wish we didn't have to deal with this. I wish there was a simple, easy process to come up with voting districts, but it always comes across as whatever party's in power, they get creative in their drawing their districts. We see it go on continuously. We see it going on now because ultimately the voters or the people feel the consequences of districts and a gerrymandering that occurs. I wish it didn't occur. I wish it was it is a simple process if you took out all the details and just drew districts based on population. That was what the original goal of creating voting districts was. But we see too many states where you see, districts were drawn that were very party specific. And, again, I don't believe it's right. And it's occurring. It has occurred. It occurred in Pennsylvania. It occurred in Montgomery County. You don't see true representation based on voter registration. And as Commissioner McKeisha mentioned, there's 623,000 registered voters here in Montgomery County. Are the parties, equally represented based on the current districts? One could argue no. But again, that's for the state to work out. As counties, we could have our say, but it's a state issue. And I know that there's going to be redistricting again in 2030, I believe it is, or 2030 or 2031. So hopefully whatever leadership's in place in that year, throughout the states, the actual districts are drawn in a fair, reasonable, non-party, non-partisan, anything related, just based solely on population, and that would be an incredible feat, but we'll see what happens. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we all have a responsibility to comment on these things, even if it hasn't made its way to Pennsylvania. But I'm just going to say it's just parties is just, like, I find that insulting. Just as a Black woman, right, whose ancestors didn't have an opportunity to vote. So, like, it's not just about parties. We have prevalent, bigotry, racism in our politics today. And for anyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, that doesn't see it, open your eyes. And Mr. Rooney, you can laugh all you want, but I'm just saying, it's a thing. So I'm glad we've all spoken about it, but I think as two brown electeds whose ancestors struggled to even be able to cast a vote or even be able to live here, I would suggest that everybody tries to understand the plight of people that are just trying to ensure that they have fair representation, ensure that they have elected leaders from both parties that care about their interests regardless of how they pray, what they look like, who they love. And I just, think we have a responsibility, regardless of our politics, to speak out when things are wrong. So thank you all for sharing your perspectives. And we're going to go to the coroner, something much more exciting. Thank you.
Don't leave.
Run away.
They only like to pass things off to you. It's just, that's their role, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm Dr. Janine Darby. I'm the Montgomery County Coroner. Today, I want to provide an overview of the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, who we are, what we do, who we serve, and to share some key trends from 2025 that we're seeing across our county. So this is not a doom and gloom presentation. This is a presentation of awareness. This is all about what is actually going on with the boots on the ground day to day, and talking about education and awareness and everything. So our work extends beyond death investigations. We are involved in public health. We are involved in public safety. We are involved in family support. We are involved in prevention, education, and also community collaboration. So this is a quick picture of some of my team. We are growing. which we need to because this is heavy work that we do on a daily basis. These are compassionate, professional, ethical people that's doing this work. Next slide. So what we do. So the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, we investigate sudden, unexpected, unexplained, traumatic deaths. So our mission is to determine that cause and manner of death while treating every decedent and their family with dignity and compassion. Our responsibility also is to issue death certificates when decedents don't have primary care doctors, also positively identifying the decedent. We don't want anybody that we don't know in the funeral homes getting the wrong person, so we definitely positively identify everyone. We locate and notify next of kin, and so that's the legal next of kin, so we don't do common marriage, we don't do partners. It has to be legal next of kin and lawful. We secure all personal property and we approve all cremations in Montgomery County. So we do that to make sure that the death certificates are right and there's no traumatic injuries and anything else that we have to investigate, because once the body is cremated, we lose all the evidence. So much of our work occurs behind the scene, but it's essential to both the legal system and also the public health. So this shows a picture of Montgomery County, which is huge. So Montgomery County serves a population of more than 856 individuals, and as you know, we are the third largest county in Pennsylvania, behind Allegheny. So our jurisdiction spans almost 500 square miles, and we are going from corner to corner. As you see, there's a star there. This is where our office is located, and it's 45 minutes to each corner. Okay, so we are traveling on the roads here. So there is approximately 8,000 deaths that occur in Montgomery County annually. So the volume and diversity of the cases require the collaboration of law enforcement, healthcare systems, EMS, funeral directors, social services, and community organizations. We are an independent agency. We do our own investigation, but we partner with law enforcement. We partner with the DA as well. And we come up with the cause and manner of death. So the 8,000 that I'm saying here, these are not all, we don't investigate every single death that comes through. There are reportable deaths. So as you see here on the screen, the deaths that are reported to us are homicides, suicides, accidents, sudden unattended deaths, suspicious violent death, certain fetal deaths, infant deaths, all the deaths that happen in correctional facilities, psychiatric facilities, they come to us as well. Any unidentified individual is coming to us as well. Next slide, please. So this shows the deaths that are reported to our office. 2025, as you can see, is 2842. In 2020, everybody knows what happened there. That was the COVID pandemic, but we're coming to a new normal now as our population grows. So 2842 is the total deaths that were reported to us last year. So this basically demonstrates the significant operational demand placed on our staff. Every death that's reported to us requires review and assessment, even if the case ultimately does not fall under our jurisdiction. So our team remains available 24/7, 7 days a week. We respond as needed. I am on call 24/7. I get calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I respond. Next. So this graph here shows distinguish between our full coroner investigations versus our referral cases. So the full coroner case count is 1,232, and the 1610 are the referrals that we get, like calls from hospitals, nursing homes, to report a death to us. But the 1232 are the ones that we investigate from beginning to end. And this requires extensive investigations for those, scene responses, possibly autopsies, and also toxicology and lab testing too. Next slide. So just for your review and just for educational purposes here, the cause of death refers to the medical reason a person died. This is determined by our board-certified forensic pathologists, also the scene investigation, medical history, autopsy findings, toxicology findings, and sometimes we have to put as pending when we need additional information as well on the death certificate. So this is just a snippet of what we have to fill out for the state requirements too. Next slide, please. So just a snippet of the top 3 cause of deaths that we see coming through our office. Number 1 is cardiac. Of course, this is the leading cause of death in our county, in our nation, and globally as well. The second is fall, and third is drug, specifically like drug overdoses as well. So understanding these trends helps us informing for prevention efforts and also for public health education. So we play a vital, important role in identifying these patterns, and we're able to impact our community in a positive way. You have a
Good
question?
Yes,
All right.
this number, the 427, is that out of the 8,000 or is it
Out of the 1232.
Out of the reportable
Yeah,
ones? Okay.
yeah, yeah. These are the top 3. So it's not, we're not adding all of them.
Right.
Yeah, yep. So next slide. So I know last year when I came and I talked about falls, Commissioner DeBello was very interested. So I broke this down for you, especially, okay? So this is the type of falls that we are seeing. As you can see, is the same level falls, and these are preventable. So it's me standing and falling, right? We also see falls against the objects, down the stairs, and from a height as well. So just wanted to break down this. So same level falls are especially concerning because they are preventable. So in that data, it demonstrates that we need to do more in regards to fall prevention education, home safety assessments, our senior wellness initiatives. We need to do more with that, and also coordinating with healthcare providers and caregivers for this. This next one shows by age. So you can see the age group from 80 to 89, those are the ones that are experiencing these same level falls. So we're not using our canes or walkers or maybe tripping over a rug or something like that. And this is causing increased mortality in this age group. Next slide. Okay. Was that good, Commissioner DeBello?
Yeah, I'm just still amazed at
Yeah,
that,
okay.
the number 1.
Yeah, exactly. So in the manner of death here, so we classify the manner of death is classified due to the circumstances surrounding the death. And they're put in 5 categories. So every death that we see, we have to put them in 5 categories here. And that's accident, suicide, natural, homicide, and undetermined. If there's 2 categories here, we make it undetermined, okay? So just wanted to highlight that as well. So this is separate from the medical cause of death, and it's based on the totality of the investigation, okay? Next slide. So these are our pie graph of all the manners of death, the 5. So as you can see, number 1 is the natural causes, which cardiac is number 1 under that. Next is accidents. So we see our falls in that category. We also see our drug overdoses in that category as well. And then third is suicide. We do a lot of education around suicide prevention. So our numbers in 2025 was 91. They're usually between 90 and 100 annually for suicides. All right, so I wanted to include this because the county is, they've been working on housing for the unhoused, and I wanted to highlight the deaths involving unhoused individuals within Montgomery County. So last year was 38 individuals. That's 1 too many. So I broke it up here, male, female, and then the race as well, as you can see here. So this data helps us better understand the vulnerable population and identify gaps in the support systems, services. The county is doing a great job by opening and breaking ground on short-term housing, and hopefully we're leading to a long-term solution so we don't see these numbers. This is not simply a mortality issue, it's also a public health and social service issue here. So collaborating with the housing programs, like the county's doing, the behavior health services, addiction resources, and other outreach organizations remains critically important. So tracking this trend, we just started doing that last year. This year, hopefully it's less than the 38. So as we continue to do good work in the county and housing these unhoused individuals. Next. So these are the locations that the unhoused deaths have occurred in. Of course, outdoors is number one. Unfortunately, in this demographic, we did have an infant that was living outdoor with their mother that passed away. And resident of another hotel, nursing home. These are individuals that don't have address in the nursing home. And then transitional housing, there was 2, and then 1 at a business, behind a business as well. Next slide. So I broke it down into the manner of death. As you can see, accident is number 1, and then natural, and then so on. So, okay. Any questions there before? Okay, great. All right. So the good news is that besides, investigating death, we're also providing and saving lives as well. So we do partner with the Gift of Life Donor Program, and this just shows the organ and tissue donation that's occurring out of our office here. So we're just so grateful for those donor families that are providing and improving, saving and improving lives and also providing hope for others here. So as you can see, there's 24 organ donors, and there were 77 organs transplanted, and then 205 tissue donors, and over 380 individuals received those tissues. So we're proud to participate in these efforts and provide hope and healing to recipients and also donor families as well. Next. So last month was Donate Life Month, and so this was just to help in providing education around tissue donation, bringing awareness, and honoring our donors and their families as well. So one donor can impact many, many lives, so consider that. Okay. And then I'm about to close out here, but just wanted to invite you to some of our events that are coming up. We do a lot of educational awareness events at the coroner's office. We have a beautiful facility with a training room that we can do these activities, and we invite you to come and join us for education and awareness purposes. So coming up next week, we have a seminar on infant and child death investigation. So we have people from the county participating, Heather Long from the DA office and such. And if you need any type of continuing education units, you can get that. We have attorneys that are able to get their, I don't know what y'all call them, CEUs or something as well. Next slide. We also have Battle the Badges, some good competition to help save lives here. So we are battling our fellow coroner's office here in a blood drive on June 10th. So please help us win and beat Bucks County. So, yeah, you like that? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. So friendly competition and helping save lives here. So please sign up here. We do have all these flyers in the back here. Come and help us win and also save lives as well. Next slide. And Thank you, Commissioner DeBello, for mentioning mental health awareness. We take this very seriously, especially in our office. Number one is wellness, because we see the worst of the worst on every single day. So right now, we're doing wellness education and also wellness events in our office. We will invite you all to some, but you'll see it soon on social media. But this is one that we are definitely inviting the community to join us. We do partner with Abby's Bakery and also Peyton Hart as well. And this is a suicide prevention event. We will be crocheting if anybody has skills in that. We crochet hearts. And we put like affirmation and positive messages onto those hearts as well. And we provide that to the community. So please join us on June 30th for that as well at our office. Next slide. And if you need to know where we are, this is our information. We have a very robust social media presence as well, where we provide education as well as showcasing what we're doing for our community as well. Okay, and that's all I got. Thank you so much for having me, and any questions from you?
Any questions? Comments?
Have you met with the Tango Belt?
Say that again?
You know the Tango Belt? It's the, we had the CEO visit, but he made a belt that seniors can wrap, can wear, and it deploys an airbag in the case of a fall.
I've
It
never
sounds
seen that, but it
unbelievable.
sounds.
It works, FDA approved. So I
Okay.
was just Googling it, 91% reduction in hip fractures
Yeah, it's
as a result of that, and 56% reduction in hospitalizations.
Yeah, so that's great,
Made
but
in-
we're
made in
also
King of
seeing
Prussia.
the head injuries. So there's bleeds in the head, so
Okay.
with the falls too. So if they can make something for that,
Yeah,
you know.
probably
that
not
would-
around your neck.
You
but-
know, yeah,
Probably not.
yeah, so, yeah.
Well, you do a great job. You really transformed the coroner's office over the last couple of years, and glad to see that you're doing so much prevention work, really kind of changing the perception of what the coroner's office actually does in our community. So thanks for
Yeah.
the presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you. Did I help you out this year?
Yeah, great job.
Okay, great.
Like I said, I'm still blown away that the number one cause is, falling. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Get him one of those
Yeah.
hip
Huh?
things.
Get
you one.
Not yet.
Yeah. So next week, I'm starting a tour where I'm going to senior centers and talking about fall prevention as well, so, yeah. Okay.
Right.
So I had a bad fall once. I had a really bad fall. I fell down a flight. I was wearing high heels, got my heel caught on the
Yeah.
rug, and fell down a flight of steps and broke 2 ribs. So like, it's not just, I know it's elderly, but like, I was okay, but that could have been a statistic.
Yeah,
But
we have the
thank God I
decades there,
wasn't.
so
Yes, yeah.
it happens.
I'm almost in that
Yeah.
50 decades.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you all for your support for our office as well and our staff.
Okay, thanks. All right. Welcome, Mike.
Well,
What's the walk-on song?
no walk-up song, but we are going to pivot. I hated that word on COVID, but we're going to pivot and shift to a lot of upbeat and positive things.
So Mike, you're really dying to get to this presentation.
We're going to be brief too, and I told you. So we will be brief, I guarantee you, right? And great job. Thank you for what you do, seriously. Good morning, commissioners, and good morning, Madam Chair. It's great to be here today and to give you an update on 250 and some up-and-coming marketing initiatives that are taking place. Before we start, I'd be remiss to not show a quick video that's showing internationally, it's domestic. It's a great
America
video.
began with a spark. And in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, a retreat reignited a revolution. On our country's momentous 250th anniversary, it's time to reconnect, to remember, and to reignite our own spark on a retreat unlike any other. In Valley Forge in Montgomery County, we honor our past. We celebrate the present and build the future together.
So America 250 is here. Montgo is strategically positioned for America 250 to attract both domestic and international tourists. You'll hear today about our focus on hotel occupancy, attractions, hospitality, supporting more than 40,000 jobs this year from Montgomery County alone. We've protected the county, and I like to say we balanced the county by hosting many major youth sports events, along with association business, corporate business, festivals, and overnight leisure stays during this busy period. So we went ahead strategically. We knew that, we actually didn't know what was going to happen with World Cup. Up, down, rooms are canceling, they're not canceling. So we have an enormous amount of business coming our way. May, June, July, Montgomery County will see total room revenue growth of more than 15%. That is unbelievable. That's an all-time record. The next 3 months will be records in lodging, economic impact. Our restaurants are going to do very well. It is an exciting time right now for this county. Our goal this year is to achieve an economic impact of a close. I keep challenging my staff to get to $3 billion in economic impact, but it's $2.8 billion is the number. And that is, again, outperforming the suburban regions right now with uptick year over year. So let's start with a quick hello from two of our rock star interns, and then we're going to shift it right over to Rachel and Jake, and I'll come back up for questions. Thanks.
Hi, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Carly Schleckleg. I was born in Montgomery County and raised in King of Prussia, and I'm still proud to call it home today. And I graduated from Montgomery County Community College and recently Florida International University with degrees in tourism and hospitality management. And I started my position at Valley Forge Tourism and Convention in August. And I started as a visitor services intern where I would work in the visitor center at Valley Forge National Historical Park. And as of this week, I started a new internship position with the Membership Events and Services Department. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of all the events this summer for America 250, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue working in my hometown and my home county, and I'm just really looking forward to this summer.
Awesome. Great.
Awesome.
Good morning. My name is Jamie. I'm from Montgomery County. I was raised in Limerick. I went to Springford, and I attended Penn State, where I majored in advertising and minored in digital media and trend analytics. In March, I was brought on as an intern, and I've been working very closely with the sales team. And with their guidance, I've worked on a number of tasks from client relation management to site visits, where I take prospective clients who are looking at Montgomery County as a destination, and I show them what they have to offer. And through working through all these tasks and projects, I've been able to see how we can engage with our clients through every step of the sales process, from leads and prospecting to execution, which looks like people hosting events in our area and people contributing to our economy. So it's been really interesting seeing how that happens, and I'm really excited for the summer. Thank you,
Awesome.
guys.
Good to meet you both. Nice job.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you, Carly and Jamie. I guess you can jump ahead. Thank you for this opportunity. So here we are. I can't believe we're here, 2026. Lee, we've been talking about this for how long? 10 years now? But I will tell you, for the next 3 months, it's going to be quite a run here. Obviously, we've been talking about it. I'm a golfer, so I'm biased. Next week, we're in Aronimink at the PGA Championship, and obviously, we've got the World Cup. And lastly, baseball all-star game, but then there's also U.S. Amateur at Marion, which will all benefit the county and the region. But I want to jump ahead real quick here. Great start to this year, resiliency for the county, momentum for the county. We truly knew we were going up against a very strong Q1 2025. If you remember, there was an Eagle Super Bowl run there. We had 3 home games. We had a parade. That all impacted the county. And then we came to this year. I felt like we were under snow for three months, right? Q1. I will call it, we had a lot of noise out there as well that impacted tourism. But again, the county exceeded all expectations. And some of the highlights I want to point out is really capped off with the month of March with revenue growth at 10% year over year. And really what led to that was an increase in leisure travel as well as an increase in midweek corporate business, which really capped us off. And the one item I want to point out is the RevPAR, which RevPAR is revenue per available room for the month of March was $82, which led the region, okay, for the suburban region. The other item I want to point out is we had 5.5% growth in room demand, which is rooms booked in the month of March. So we capped off a really strong a Q1 with a strong March, which tees us up. We can go to the next slide. For the rest of the year, what are we looking at for the rest of the year? Q2, we know, is going to be through the roof. We're looking at 9% growth for the quarter. Now, we're going to have some months that are going to exceed that. And then, obviously, Q3, continued growth. And then, obviously, Q4, it softens a little bit. But all in all, we actually just received a new forecast yesterday. We're expecting forecasted room revenue growth for the entire year to be actually a little bit up above 5%. Okay, it's showing 4.6, but we just got new numbers the other day. We did not have time to update this slide, but we're looking at 5% year-over-year growth. But what I want to point out in the yellow is the rest of the country is not doing as well as Montgomery County. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We're not going to get into it. There's a lot of noise out there, but the fact is Montgomery County continues to remain resilient. The one item I want to point out is, not only do we have these large events that are taking place, but we also are bringing our own events. Mike alluded to that. We have youth sports. Just the other day, I got some information from our sports team. Beast of the East flag football, Lacrosse World Series in June, Made Hoops in July. That's over 5,000 room nights for Made Hoops. You add up all those events, that's 10,000 hotel rooms that we are bringing to the county. So not only do we have these large events that are obviously America 250 driven with the celebration of America's birthday, but we've also layered in our own sporting events, and we're also layering in our corporate business midweek. So we protected that business, while other areas of the country may have had that business displaced because they thought that they were going to get a lot of travelers, say, for instance, for the World Cup. We've protected that business. Then moving ahead to the next slide, how are we looking to, round out the year? Just for frame of reference, the tourism industry, all said and done, is about $2.5 billion. That's what we're forecasting for the end of 2025. 40,000 jobs, all in about a 3% growth year over year in 2025. What are we looking at for 2026? Annual growth of about 3%, but then you layer in the additional 7 for the incremental growth. You're looking at about a $250 million economic impact. So you got the 75 and the 175. So you're taking it up to about $2.75 billion. That's what we're looking for in 2026. And the number of visitors that come to the county is over 8 million. Okay, what's a visitor? It's anybody that travels in from outside of about 50 miles is what the definition of that is. So as you can see, everything that we just talked about sets the stage for a record-setting year for Montgomery County and the tourism industry.
All right, thank you, Jake, and thank you, commissioners. For marketing, we've been using a lot of the data that Jake spoke about to put together a really strategic plan for 26, and we are now right smack dab in the middle of executing that plan, and we've already accomplished a lot. As you'll see on the next slide, we partnered with CBS for March Madness, and the Philadelphia games were the most watched in the market, even when factoring in other sports. And in fact, we saw a notable increase of website traffic to our site by 11% year over year. On the next slide, we also launched an in-house targeted digital marketing campaign using Google Ads to promote our family-friendly America 250 content for Valley Forge and Montgomery County, PA, during the NFL draft in Pittsburgh in April. So we geo-targeted a 2-mile radius around the stadium and fan viewing areas to reach fans when engagement and mobile usage would be at the highest, and we saw thousands of impressions and a really high click-through rate. And then, as you can see on this next slide, for the first time, we put together every volume of our Patriot Tales comic book for one complete graphic edition, which is completely free, by the way, following 3 curious kids who travel back in time to meet George Washington. They explore the people and places that shaped our nation, and it features an all-new story plus some exclusive behind-the-scenes pages. On the next slide, we enhanced our network partnerships to include 250 marketing with weekly promos, as well as featured Montgo segments. And it's hard to believe, but tonight is the premiere of Cirque du Soleil's Luzia at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center at Oaks. You might have seen the massive tent from 422 if you're traveling up and down. This is a fantastic colorful, top-tier show that's a waking dream of Mexico with stunning visual surprises and breathtaking acrobatic performances inspired by Hispanic culture. So take a look at this video. And Montgomery County is one of only a few U.S. locations to host this incredible show, and it really just speaks to our identity as an arts destination. This is also the perfect evening activity for those that will be attending the PGA Championship. And on that note, and this next slide, our hotels are already jam-packed for the PGA Championship, and we'll also be promoting our 50 golf courses that we have in the county with a bunch of different ways, but to name a few, a Sirius radio campaign held exclusively on the PGA Tour channel, as well as a partnership with Lyft to reach the surge of rideshare users that will be on site at tournament drop-off zones. And then for World Cup on the next slide, we created a blog for where to stay and things to do, spotlighting those different attractions in Montgomery County using SEO strategies with the ability to translate the content into the user's native language. And this has driven record domestic and international traffic to our website. We're also still working on plans for a multi-day watch party event in King of Prussia that will include food trucks, big screens, and a kid zone for the entire Monco community. So fingers crossed for FIFA and Fox approval. Stay tuned for more. We'll be making some announcements soon, hopefully. And then on the next slide, our Houses of Declaration, or our public readings of the document, continue to expand. We've got almost 30 locations all across the county now. And to help promote these spots, we've been sharing monthly history vignettes on social media. And then, of course, on the next slide, we can't forget that one of our main spotlights is supporting Valley Forge National Historical Park's 50th Federal Park anniversary. It's the only park in the NPS that shares a birthday with America on July 4th. And of course, our ultimate goal is return visitation in 27 and 28 for Valley Forge's 250th milestones. And then on the next slide, we're not going to reveal too much yet, but we're super excited to partner with the county on this, a celebration of the birthday twins, America and Valley Forge, on the courthouse steps. It's going to be a party like no other, so stay tuned for more details and announcements. We can't wait to share more. And then here on this next slide, you can see some of our upcoming events just to mark your calendars. A couple of highlights, just want to shout out, of course, it'll be our 12th annual Freedom from Hunger Drive this fall. You can make donations at any time, valleyforge.org/hunger. And then also our 5th annual Monco Jazz Fest, we'll be celebrating that this year. And specifically, we're working with several of the county's parks and rec departments to present concerts in parks all across the county this September. And then on the last slide, just a thank you to the commissioners for your support and proclamation of our 20th annual Valley Forge Revolutionary 5-mile run and 2-mile walk at Valley Forge National Historical Park, where we raised a record $100,000 for the park this year. So thank you so much. With that, I'll bring Mike back up to answer any questions.
Well, thank you, commissioners, and thank you for your support with Freedom from Hunger and Rev Run. And we are excited for this big party that's going to take place here. So any questions for me?
I have a quick one.
Yep.
Which is more of a challenge than a
Yep.
question, I guess. So, I mean, it's amazing what's all planned for, 2026, the 250 year, and I know that some of this is going to stretch into 2027.
Yep.
What's the predictions beyond all of this? What will we see? Do we have an idea what future is going to look like in Montgomery County as far as, after this big,
Yeah, it's a great question, Commissioner. We constantly talk about when the hangover occurs after September, right? And we're really focused on new business. Our ultimate drive the past 6 months has been to be strategically out at all new shows. So we just came back from the UK. Our sports team is just getting so many new leads right now because there's so much to do in Montgomery County. And keep in mind, the Valley Forge National Park is still going to be celebrating the next 2 years out with the encampment and everything else going on. People take it for granted, but the King of Prussia Mall is tourism. And when you look, over 20 million people go through there every year, and all the new attractions are virtual, or experiential, I should say, at the mall. We're going to have the biggest Dick's Sporting Goods in the nation, with soccer fields and with baseball diamonds and with various golf simulators everywhere. That's an attraction. So we're looking at the paradigm shift. We're always looking at new and fresh, but I feel like really, really confident about 27 and 28 for Montgomery County, based on what we already have booked, where we're fishing right now, and what's coming in. And Rachel does an incredible job with her team, just focused on family friendly. That's our tagline. Montgomery County is family friendly. We have the best zoo in the nation. And we except, dealing with Arizona can be tough sometimes. I'm only kidding, right? But the zoo is incredible. So there's, 100 miles of trails, the zoo, 17 main streets, best shopping. Youth sports business is all focused on what they do when they're not playing. They're spending money, spending a lot of money. So we're excited. We have a plan. It's a great question. Anything else?
Yeah, just thanks. I mean, you all have done a really nice job getting us to America 250, and I'm excited for some of the things that we'll do to partner together to celebrate America's birthday. But no, just you all do just such a fabulous job. So really excited for this year and beyond. And I would also say, we have a young family. We're always looking for destinations that we can just drive to save on costs. So like, I love that you're leaning into the family friendly piece where, people can fly or drive and find a lot of good activities happening right here in Monco. So
Thank you, and thanks for your leadership.
of course.
Exciting. Thank you. I did want to hear, some of the. I wanted Monty to come through this time.
Yeah, there's no food.
He heard you were mad at him, so he didn't want to come. I don't know what happened. You'll see Monty quite a bit in the next few weeks.
I'm excited to be at the
Along with the other
concerts.
mascots. One thing I did forget is we're seeing a huge uptick right now with festivals, big festivals. So we had an Asian food truck festival we helped bring in last Labor Day weekend, which had over 33,000 people for 2 days.
What was that?
It's coming back Labor Day weekend. We also we're bringing in a new one for the week before Labor Day weekend with the same promoters. The promoters are from LA, and they're really smart people, and they like this region. They came to us and they said, they're in Long Island, here, Charlotte, and I want to say Virginia. They have these big events. But they did their homework, and they wanted to be here because of the region, and all roadways lead to Montgomery County, the Turnpike, 422, 76, and we take that for granted a lot. So we're excited.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, David Morgan for public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm David Morgan from Ambler.
Good morning.
And related to Commissioner comment on the agenda, I just want to say one quick thing about Mr. DeBella's comment about bicycles and motorcycles. I know of an accident that happened with a garbage truck, and you don't have to have the back of the truck say they're going to swing to the right when they go to the left and they go to the right. And we followed someone on the right side who was a bicyclist or a motorcyclist, and they were dealing with that situation. So that's something to keep in mind, that they can always have that swing and to be aware of that right side. Okay, well, that's the agenda. Referring to information and technology, which is page 8 of 16, and there's $269,000 for networking equipment for county moves. So I don't know how often that's going to happen, that there's moving of forces within the county structure, but we approached then we're over $250,000, and when we have tax increases, we're dealing with $12 million for the 4% or so last year, and we had the $13 million drawn from reserve. So these accumulate, and so to watch out. And I rarely hear a no vote about any spending lately. I haven't heard any. Can't remember any for about a half a year at least. So then also we have the data fiber service, which is $258,000, And so the dark fiber was last month. So I'm not sure how much that is accumulating. So how do these have a cycle of mounting up so we can easily clear $2 million of spending? We had $2 million of trail improvements last meeting. So just to watch that they're on the conservative side, knowing that we haven't had a financial presentation this year so far, usually was the idea of having a quarterly presentation by the CFO. We haven't seen that I've seen. I looked at the video a little bit of last meeting, or 2 meetings ago rather. So how about we have an idea where we stand? Because we had the $50 million last April underwater, so I'm just wondering how it's going. We don't have any announcement of a CFO that I know. So who is acting as CFO, and how do we know how our spending is going so they don't have a large tax increase coming up? Thank you.
Mr. Morgan, a couple of things. Thank you for continuing to raise the spending. So before anything lands on this agenda, right, we've got an amazing team that is doing info sessions with us, sitting down with us individually in our briefings to talk through like what actually gets approved and goes on the agenda. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in terms of building consensus, but this collective board, we are going to be very intentional about thinking about this year's budget and how do we reduce costs, how do we save taxpayer dollars. We are in the home stretch of identifying a CFO. I think we have some consensus on that, so we'll be able to make that announcement soon, and we have someone that will be coming on in the interim. So my commitment to you and everybody else is that we will do a financial presentation here soon, but know that we've been in that little interim step, just trying to get the right person for the job. But we continue to work, this is just one part of what we do. We do work behind the scenes to, we understand we're in a challenging position, especially heading into next year. So thanks for raising that.
Joe Rooney.
Mr. Rooney.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Rooney. I live in Abington. And first, just real quick, I heard all these things about the month, but y'all didn't mention Mother's Day.
I was getting to it at the end. You beat me to it.
Yeah, well, because I know how popular I was in Women's History Month, and I made for a very interesting couple of meetings, but Moms Matter. And then the second one today is National Day of Prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask the Lord to bless our country, to bless our leaders at the national, state, and our local level, also to bless our troops in the field right now, and also our police, everybody else that keeps us safe, because that's what makes our country great. And just another real quick thing. That was an awesome presentation they just gave. And you know why Montgomery County is so popular? Because it rocks. It's a great place. Greatest country the world has ever seen. And we prove it by millions of people coming here from across the border legally and illegally and coming into our state. So we have much to celebrate. On the agenda items, the EI services, and I'm not familiar with OISP, but I have to learn about that, because there's about $9.4 million, and it's for kids from 0 to 3. And we all are familiar with what went on in Minnesota, what we're learning about in California with these fraudulent services for child services. And it says in there that families choose state qualified providers. So are we protecting ourselves, the money that's coming from the state, filtered through us, and then going out to somewhere to make sure that we're not running into that? Because I also noticed the MCIU's in there for about 40 or 50 grand. And we learned, a month ago that the MCIU was questioned about $20,000 for Kenyan safaris and trips to Singapore and Korea. And if you read through all the articles, there's an initial article about it, but there's been nothing since then. And now the county is giving $40,000 or $50,000 more dollars to MCIU. Now I know you said they don't work for the county is not associated, but we are giving them 50 grand worth of business. And if you looked at these people like Julianne Ramek, they go, well, we're going to have to look into it. We're going to have to make sure we have closer care of the money that's being spent. And another leader, Margaret Wright, she's the same thing, but nobody gives any explanations or doesn't say that the Kenyan safaris were inappropriate and we're getting the money back. So that's just kind of a follow-on to that is we don't run MCIU, but we do give them tens of thousands of dollars worth of business. And it would be nice to get some follow-up from initial stories of fraud. The second one, and this is a good thing, I noticed there's 50 grand for an F-150 hybrid. It doesn't say if it's new or used. So I went and looked online. That's actually a very reasonable price. I tried to look for a new one and also a used one. So if that's a new one, that's really a good deal. If it's a used one, because I brought it up before, thank you for looking into that, for that truck.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if that's a new one or.
I would suspect it's a new one, getting off the co-stars list. I mean, I just want to comment, great points. I will mention something about, you brought up the IU, and what we did, although maybe we didn't publicly go out and say, but after all that was revealed, we had our controller's office, ensure the money that we're not giving, like, as you mentioned, we're not giving the IU money. We're like a lot of other school districts or whatever it may be, we're purchasing their services. But our controller's office did look at, and to ensure that the money that we're giving for the services that are being provided by the IU were rightfully, used, however you want to say it. It's like your February 22nd thing. I'm having a rough day with boards today.
Or when I read your speech.
Huh?
Or when I read your speech.
Yeah. But I mean, we as commissioners, we did, want our controller's office to follow up to ensure that the monies that we are, giving for the services provided by the IU is going, it's in alignment. The individuals that you mentioned are on the IU board, and and I'm not passing the buck, but they have the true oversight as far as, expenses and all that are incurred by the staff at the IU. So I agree that there should be more follow-up and more conversation around that, but we as a county did our due diligence. And the other question you have, this is something that's ongoing that, we've been, I know I personally, I'm sure my fellow commissioners as well, have been interacting with our new deputy COO, Tiffany, who oversees that department, as well as our director of HHS as well. We want to ensure that the money that's coming, coming here from the state, federal, state, and money that we're giving is being, appropriately spent. So yes, we do have conversations associated to that as well.
The other thing I'll say about the IU, like, our controller has really rebuilt his whole entire team, right? And so our controller is standing over in the corner.
I didn't even see him come. I was giving you credit, and I didn't see you standing there.
But you and your new first deputy jumped on that, gave us information, and I know it's still ongoing, which you can't really talk about, but I want to thank you for jumping right in on that. So thanks for raising that.
Off the public comment.
All right, next up, approval of the minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 23rd, 2026 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, authorization of county signatories for submissions to the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry. Steve.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today on behalf of the Department of Commerce. You know we are an umbrella for a number of organizations, one of which is our Montco Works, our Workforce Development Board. And I'm here on behalf of Jenny Butler, the Deputy Director of Workforce Development and Executive Director of Montco Works. We are here to request your approval of a resolution authorizing the designated signatory for the Montgomery County Workforce Development Board's current grant agreement covering July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2026. The authorized signatory form formally designates a specific individual to sign grant-related documents on behalf of the Montgomery County Workforce Development Board for a particular grant period. This includes documents like grant modification requests, closeout reports, and other official submissions required by the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry. L&I is requesting that we update this signatory form And this form would designate Jenny Butler as the signatory, with Jane Stein as the backup signatory. And we respectfully request your approval of the authorization as presented by the solicitor and in your packet.
Thanks, Steve. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 1 as described by Mr. Steve Forrest. Always.
You got it. It's all right.
It's because you both are. Thank you. Thank you for the support. My colleagues don't support me. Is there a second?
We can do force.
That's the one, I know, listen, I do know
work
how
on
to
that.
read. I do know how to read, but that was, I swear, like, I couldn't get Lee would have to, I know how to say Lee, would have to correct me all the time. So anyway, I got it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Commissioners' reappointment to the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. I'd like to make a motion to authorization to approve resolution number G-2. Somebody didn't finish the sentence. I'd like to approve resolution number G2 for the reappointments to the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Center Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Hearing, any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, personnel list.
Morning, Commissioners. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Commissioner Department's personnel list. There's a 3-page document dated May 6, 2026 with a timestamp of 11:26 a.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for your consideration.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the May 7th, 2026 personnel presentation as given by Mr. Anthony Brew. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion.
Could you separate A3, please?
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve advertisements of bids and RFPs for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit A, with the exception of A3.
So,
Is there a second?
second.
Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. I'd like to make a motion to approve the advertisements of bids and RFPs for Montgomery County, item number A3. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment?
The only comment I'd like to make, I agree with everything within that RFP, that whole process, especially, addressing homelessness and utilizing the opiate settlement funds and all that. I just don't believe that the county should be involved in the master leasing program.
I want to make just a point of clarification. This is just an RFP at this point to see who responds. So I want to thank Tiffany and Pat and the ODA team for thinking this through. And so I'm happy to support seeing what responders we get for this particular area. I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Makija?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBello?
No.
Commissioner Winder? Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next up, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit C.
Wait.
Oh, no, did I miss B? Oh, see, you
Yeah.
confused me. It's your fault.
Well, keep
I'd
going.
like, no, I'll start over. I'd like to make the motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Montgomery County on attached Exhibit B. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, motion to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit C. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, I'd like to make a motion to approve the advertisement of bids and RFPs for Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit D. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. General public comment.
David Morgan.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioners. I'm David Morgan from Ambler. And I'd first like to comment that related to data centers, we're running low on water, and I did send the commissioners an email with a drought map we've had. And so fortunately, it rained wonderfully last night. If we had rain like that every day, we'd have a great amount for the data centers. But there was an article in this morning, this reporter saying that 75,000 gallons a day are needed by data centers often. And I was glad, though, that after writing to Mr. France, that he designated Mr. John Lesher to respond to me with an email. And he mentioned this data center ordinance guide developed by the Montgomery County Planning Commission. So municipalities can get help, not reinvent the wheel every 162 and trying to deal with this influx of demand for water because our firefighters have to put the fires out. We have brush fires and we have drought times like we had 30 days with no rain about a year ago. It's really concerning to me, and water is absolutely essential. So I mentioned going to the Delaware Bay for water and putting them out there like oil rigs. So whatever can be done to get them towards Chester and Chester County can help us, maybe would be good. So how willing would they be to do that? But anyway, if he could do a presentation, Mr. Lesher, come and talk to the commissioners as we had on the Valley Forge presentation today and the corners. That would be great. I'd like to also mention, because Mother's Day was mentioned and we're running out of time, each year I try to present a lullaby. So today, Tura Lura Lura, I said it correctly, from Ireland. The Irish lullaby, as I just learned this year. So I'm going to play a bit of that for you. Yeah. We can't forget Mother's Day, right? Hats off to mothers. I salute them totally. They're so vital. And actually, worldwide, motherhood is declining. In America, it used to be 2.1 births per mother. Now it's down about 1.6, which is low replacement. And if we can do things as commissioners, if we can encourage a presentation by Monco Mamas, it'd be great to see them again, as well as Mr. Lesher. If we can have more coordination with the health department for those cuffs. For anyone who has a circulatory concern, as we had in the movie night that was sponsored, and we had Penn Medicine comment that that's really helpful after birth. These efforts are really important. And I also want to thank the commissioners for the young ones for having a guide for the parent and infant resource guide, which is only down to a couple of Spanish versions. So I asked Colin to help with resupplying them and to have them through the health office supply them to hospitals in our area. And I decided myself to do that myself. But anyway, to have that encouragement, because pregnancy resource centers are mentioned in them and they help so many ways to make it possible to have a child today. And so they offer everything that I can imagine. I don't have time to tell you that. But thank you for hearing about the role of our wonderful mothers and, of course, the infants.
Thanks, Mr. Morgan. Great job.
Next up, Joe Rooney.
Are you going to play us something, Mr. Rooney? Come on. You have some hidden talent.
How do I follow that? So I don't play and I can't sing, so I'm going to spare us all that. But that was really awesome. Thanks for making this meeting memorable. All right, could I put in a shameless plug for America 250? The Greater Glenside Patriotic Association puts on the best parade that there is. Lee, have you ever been to it?
I've walked it many times.
Yeah. So it starts at the VFW on Jenkintown Road at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Please come. There's like 10,000 people there, and people work hard all year long to do that. So we'd love to see you there. And Monco 250, again, is a really wonderful program, and Valley Forge is a great place. We live in a great place. Once again, Mother's Day, mothers rock. Moms and wives, they deserve 30 days. They deserve recognition up here. It would have been great to have 8 or 10 moms up here and just give them all flowers because they do the hard work every day. And we all have moms, and we all like our moms. And for a certain number of moms in Montgomery County right now, they got kids deployed. Sons and daughters are over in the Middle East. They're over in Korea, Japan, the Philippines. My grandmother had that. My mother had that, and my wife has that. So they all deserve our prayers and our thanks also. And the last thing, Commissioner McKee, you know that pesky 15th Amendment, right? So with Louisiana versus Calais, first off, it's 92 pages. I'd like to see a hand of everybody that's read it, because I find that awesome. So people got opinions on stuff and they haven't read it. So I would encourage people, if you're worrying about what they say, take a look at what Justice Alito wrote, because racial discrimination is illegal. It's also prohibited. We live in the greatest country in the world. We have 3 commissioners up here. They weren't elected because of their race. They weren't elected because of their background, other than their abilities. And that's how we need to look at everything. So God bless the Supreme Court. Whatever our country is, whatever problems it has been, it is, and it will be the greatest country we've ever had on the earth. And thank God for that. And I'm not saying we're perfect, but we're getting better and better every day. And Louisiana versus Calais made us a better country. And I support it 100%. Thank you.
That's all for public comment.
All right, any closing commissioner comments?
Well, I just want to comment on, as mentioned a couple times, Mother's Day is right around the corner. And we didn't, I was saving my comments for the end for mothers, so I covered other things earlier, but it's an amazing, wonderful holiday. As you said, mothers they're just amazing people. They should be recognized more than once a year for one day. And I think that most great leaders had mothers that gave them amazing, guidance and mentorship and suggestions and ideas. And I think that, it's wonderful that we recognize mothers for one day, but like veterans, we should recognize them more throughout the year, because they're just incredible. So I want to wish all the mothers in Montgomery County, those that work for Montgomery County and those that live in Montgomery County and beyond, a wonderful, happy, and hopefully non-raining Mother's Day this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, I'll say the same, not only for my own mom, but for my wife, Rachel, and there are times in which I am trying to, be there for my son, and in the same way that Rachel is, and immediately his first response is, "Where's Mom?" And that's where I learned there's always going to be a difference, right, in terms of the care. I don't want to actually generalize, because that's not always true, but in many circumstances, there's really no parallel to the care that moms give to those who they gestated, something that I certainly didn't experience. And I'm just yesterday, Rachel took Avi to the sheep shearing that Kaylee Silver told me about. And I don't know if you know about this. Have you ever gone to sheep shearing?
No.
So it's an activity. And I thought it was like all the sheep being sheared. And by the way, it's an activity the kids absolutely love. Because I asked Avi, did you enjoy this, right? And he's like, oh, it was so much fun watching a sheep get a haircut. And I asked him, do you think the sheep enjoyed it? He said, no, absolutely not. But it's a joy to raise a kid, and just very grateful for my partner, and just seeing how, we're giving our son all sorts of experiences, and thankful to all the moms out there. Hopefully we'll all have good brunches on Sunday and other activities that we'll do. But the other thing I just wanted to add was, yes, the Glenside Parade is awesome, so we'll definitely be there. And there's a World Cup game the same day, though, so that's going to be complicated. But we've got amazing things America 250 is doing, so excited for all that's to come. Go ahead.
You better sleep with one eye open for a couple of days, because
Yeah.
your son may want to shear your hair.
I know.
Yeah. So yes, happy Mother's Day to all the awesome moms out there. This will be my third Mother's Day without the greatest mother in the whole wide world. My mother was absolutely amazing, and so I continue to honor her legacy by the way in which I live my life. I also had an awesome grandmother as well, and it's just awesome to be a mom. Max it's a lot, and I think a lot of men don't realize the dance of moms, working moms
We
at
realize
that.
that we're grateful.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because it's a different,
Believe me.
it's a different kind of dance.
For sure.
But have a great day. Honor your mother while they're still here. And for all the kids out there, right? Spoil your moms. Last year, Kevin did the reservation at the wrong time.
Yeah.
He scheduled brunch I think he scheduled it for 9 p.m. at night, 9 a.m.
Must be a good
And
restaurant.
so
if
he's
that
been
was
planning,
the-
yes, he's been planning Mother's Day brunch for a year since then. So I'll let you know how he made out. So, all right, the next board meeting is May 21st at 10 a.m. in the boardroom. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the May 7th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next up, salary board, I'll invite our controller up. Any public comment? Okay. Tony, if you could review our salary board list.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. Salary Board members. You should have in front of you the final copy of the salary board list. It's a 4-page document dated May 6, 2026, the timestamp of 11:26 a.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for your consideration.
Great. I'd like to make a motion to approve the May 7th, 2026 salary board presentation as given by Mr. Anthony Brew, our Chief Human Resource Officer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Controller Hart. Any board comment? Moving to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the May 7th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board. Before I do that, I just want to acknowledge really quickly a retirement. Did I do that the last time, Lee? Where's Lee? Did he leave?
Is he retired?
We're announcing Lee's retirement.
Does Lee know?
So can you just, we have like a 30-plus year veteran of our parks. That's on today's, his name's not here. Remind me his name. No, it's on Kevin at Green Lane Park. I met Kevin at Green Lane Park. He has given more than 30 years to the county. We went up for a natural Easter egg dyeing event, so he and his team put on all these programs at Green Lane Park. So I just wanted to honor his retirement before we close out the meeting. So, all right, now I can make a motion to adjourn the May 7th, 2026 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Controller Hart. Any board comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.